I'm going to miss most about YTA is ditching Hebrew class to hang with Lisa and Shelly in her office. It's probably the reason why I'm failing.
I'm going to miss seeing you guys every day, and I guess Lisa and her optimism and just how nice everyone is and how friendly everyone is.
I'm going to miss seeing my friends every day, and I'm going to miss all the school trips, and I'm going to miss seeing Dr. Lisa and her supporting me throughout my whole journey in high school.
I'm on my way, and I can't keep the smile off my face, 'cause there's nothing like seeing
the teachers and Shiran. Like, I mean, of course, all my friends. Like, these things go without saying. But like, what was special about YTA that like I think I'm gonna miss the most once going into the rest of like Israeli education, definitely the teachers and definitely Lisa.
Lisa.
Oh my God.
Lisa, Shelly.
Dr. Lisa just coming up to me and asking me how I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing next year and if I've got everything figured out. She's really good at pep talking me as well, so.
They're like so patient, and then you can speak to them like they're your friends. If I have a family issue and I have to cry about it to somebody, I'll probably go to Lisa.
I'm going to miss Lisa's optimism in the morning. We're all just like dead zombies. Yeah, out of it, and she always like has a smile on her face, and she's so open and happy. And
Lisa and Shelly. Definitely Lisa and Shelly.
I don't know how she does it. It's probably because she wakes up at 5 a.m. So it's like the midday for her.
About YTA is passing by Lisa's office every morning and saying good morning. I'll miss also sitting in Lisa's office and Shelly and just chilling with them.
I think in this school it's very strongly emphasized that the teachers really just want what's good for you, and they're not just trying to get through the year. They're just trying to help you succeed, and that's their main goal.
It's going to be really different next year. Like, I come to school every morning, and it's always like there's the same schedule, and it's going to be hard to like start something different.
So I never thought I'd say I'd miss something about high school, but I'm actually going to miss the whole security and like safe haven of school, like coming here every day and having a routine, and just, you know, like I've been doing this since I was a kid. I've been getting up and going to school, and like now it's something different. Like I'm growing up and I'm moving on with my life, and it's not going to be like a routine.
Probably just seeing Lisa and Shelly just in the morning, you know, saying good morning, and it's like such a warm feeling and just lightens up your day. They don't pressure you, they just count on you to do your stuff, and you know, when you go like one day to university, like you're not gonna have those people there.
Seeing you guys every morning, and also Lisa, the happiness about Lisa.
So I think I'm just going to miss being in the comfortable environment of the English-speaking environment, and with Lisa, she's so warm with us, and you know, we're kind of like a family. It's a small school, and just being able to speak English and be comfortable. I'll honestly miss my classmates, see them every day. It's going to be very hard getting used to not seeing them.
I just want to say thank you for the 3 years that I've been in YTA to Lisa. I can go to her literally for anything. I can go to her and I'm crying. I can go to her when I'm happy. I can just go to her for anything. And I'm going to miss that very, very much.
I will too, for sure, yeah. It's a new path. I'm going to miss having the motivation and the pushing from Lisa mainly, who never gave up on me, surprisingly.
Being in high school, like I'm scared to graduate, going into the new world on your own, and that's it, you're like not dependent on anything anymore.
Oh, I'm gonna miss the like the Americana girls screaming all the time. Get that?
Wow, it's a great video. That was really something very, very special. You know, at the time that I began teaching our graduates, my Hebrew was a struggle. I would say to a cashier, "Efshar ledaber be'anglit?" And they would say, "Lo." But I quickly found out that every Israeli knows at least one English letter. Okay, mommy? Why? Oh, why? Soon I discovered every Israeli knew at least one English word, describing a shape with nothing inside of it. Hello. Hello. Before I knew it, the personalities on the radio during the morning drive were starting to finally speak my language. I thought the zoo one morning lost its animals when there was a moose at this Tomet. There was another moose at this Michlaf. There was a moose at a dozen different places. And frankly, I hope they got them all. At this time, I'd like to call upon someone whom I've come to respect and admire for her leadership of this school, and as you heard, the intense personal attention she gives to the students and to the faculty. We have come to know each other better. As you may know, Dr. Fredman will be taking a sabbatical this coming year, and I will be acting principal for the coming year. We've been meeting a lot over the past several months to discuss the students, the curriculum, the bagruyot, policies and procedures, the bagruyot, the needs of each of our girls, the bagruyot, if I haven't mentioned that yet, and of course, the most important thing, where she hides the kal beten. What I appreciate most about Dr. Fredman personally can be described in a scene at the school yesterday, when I met with someone who could possibly be a substitute next year. She came with her baby, and when girls came over and saw us talking, they melted when they saw the baby and they asked if they could hold her. The teacher carefully handed the baby over to each of them in a loving and caring way. As you know, for Dr. Fredman, this girl's high school has been her baby from the very beginning. She has nurtured it, she has fed it, embraced it, and given it life. To think that she is prepared to hand over this baby for a year to me is the highest sense of trust and support and confidence that I could possibly enjoy. And this is the kind of feeling she gives all of us on a daily basis. Dear friends, please welcome our principal, Dr. Lisa Fredman.
Thank you, Rabbi Adler. I'm not even going to try to be funny, so there's no competition there. It was Yom Kippur, and my husband's first cousin, Ofer, a Hesder student, was on call on a small army base in the Sinai Desert, acting as the rabbi and running Yom Kippur service. All of a sudden, the air raid sirens went off, and Ofer and the other soldiers quickly jumped into their tanks with their sneakers still on. This was the beginning of the Yom Kippur War, and Ofer and the tank division headed down south towards the southern part of the Sinai Desert. They traveled and traveled while their tanks were being fired up by the Egyptian army. At a certain point, Ofer's tank was damaged and could no longer move. Ofer and his fellow soldiers abandoned their tank and looked for shelter in the middle of the desert. As the sun set and it got very cold, Ofer knew that they had to find a place to spend the night so that they didn't freeze. He and the other soldiers continued walking, very hungry, tired, and thirsty, not knowing where they were. All of a sudden, in the distance, they saw lights. As they approached slowly, they saw that it was a small building at the edge of a village. They knew they had to somehow get into the basement and spend the night there. They quietly made their way into the building and managed to sneak down into the basement. Overhead, they heard noises and the moving of chairs. After a few minutes, they started listening very carefully, trying to hear what was going on the floor above. Some of the soldiers had studied Arabic in school and understood the language. After listening for a while, they couldn't believe it. They were in the basement of the army headquarters of the Egyptian Army Northern Command. They realized immediately how dangerous it was to be there, and they had to get out as soon as possible. After a while, they managed to sneak back out of into the very cold, dark desert. They started running in the opposite direction and eventually fell asleep under some shrubs. They continued walking the very next day, hoping that they were walking in the direction of Israel. After what seemed like many hours, they saw tanks in the distance. As the tanks drew closer, they saw the Magen David on the side of the tanks, and they knew that they were Israeli. They started running towards the tanks in happiness, and then all of a sudden they realized the tanks had started shooting at them. Their green Israeli army uniforms were covered with sand after living in the desert, and their color of the uniforms looked tan, the color of the Egyptian army uniform. Their own army thought they were the enemy. What could they do to save themselves? How could they show the Israeli army that they were Israeli, not Egyptian? At that moment, Cousin Ofer, the only religious boy in the unit, opened his shirt, and he pulled out his tzitzit and started waving them back and forth. The lead tank saw something strange in the air and slowed down to get a closer look. He finally realized they were tzitzit, and he gave the order to stop shooting. The head tank moved very slowly towards Ofer, who was still waving his tzitzit in the air, and it came to a stop. The tank commander opened up the top of the tank and jumped out. As he walked towards Ofer, he took off his helmet and his goggles. They recognized each other immediately. The tank commander was Ofer's chavruta from Yeshivat HaKotel, his closest learning partner and his closest friend. This is a true story. My dear graduates, what would you wave? How would you express your Judaism? What aspect of Torah and mitzvot would you choose to hold high above your head, to represent you? How would you manifest your connection with God? These are not simple questions, and your answer might change over time as you grow and mature. But I hope that your years at YTA have given you a deeper understanding and appreciation of your rich Jewish heritage and your connection with Hashem. I want to thank all of our wonderful teaching staff for not only teaching but also touching each and every one of our girls. They understood the difficult transition the girls were experiencing and did their utmost to instill excitement, inspiration, and expertise into their classroom teaching. The girls knew that their teachers care and believe in them, and that makes all the difference. Our excellent Bagrut results are a direct output of the excellent education happening in the classroom. Thank you to each and every one of you for teaching and touching our girls. A very big thank you to our newest staff member, Eliza Lippener. Eliza, as our Bat Shevut, you added tremendously to every facet of school life. I want to thank the administration of Neve Ruchama, Meirav Gold, the principal, and all those who work with her for their partnership and support. A special thank you to Itzik, the Bayit, Meirav's assistant Michal, and Hadassah, the woman in charge of the Bagruyot, who come to our aid daily. We have found a warm and supportive home at Neve Ruchama, and that stable environment has enabled us to flourish. A very, very special thank you to my assistant Shelley. For your technical and moral support, and for being a Rosh Gadol, doing more than being asked for. To Rabbi David Sampson, the Dean of YTA, your creative mind coupled with your care and sensitivity for the girls has been the backbone of the success of the YTA schools. May you continue dreaming, creating, and helping others. To you, the parents, thank you for sharing your daughters and believing in us. And lastly, Achronot Chavivot, to our wonderful graduates. Be proud of yourselves, your accomplishments, and your Judaism. Don't take the easy road in life. Take the road that will lead you to personal satisfaction and spiritual growth. Believe in your abilities because we believe in each and every one of you. Mazal Tov.